What's happening, guys? Derelict here. Just thought I'd do a commentary for Abnormality 3. We tried to do one on stream and it didn't work. Thought it'd be a fun idea to do it. It's kind of a stupid idea to do for a fan project, director's commentary, but it's just something to pass the time, I suppose. Quick introduction to it for anyone who hasn't seen it or anyone who doesn't know what the hell it is. It's a fan project for John CJG on YouTube. He had done several hybrid series before, during his production of R being a Chief, such as Deus Ex Machina, which was about kind of a superhero. One Life Remaining, which was about, I guess, the struggles of high school or life after high school. Hard Justice, which was kind of like a cop drama, I believe. And Abnormality, which was, I think, his first machinima that he ever made. He had a two-parter one. Or it wasn't a two-part, I think it was, the first one was on its own, and the second one was split into two parts. And it was an ancient thing he made back in the days of Halo 2, so I think I don't know if he had uploaded on YouTube, but he had re-uploaded it or something. But that was the introduction to it, so we're going to give Abnormality 3 a watch, and I'll just talk about some of the really boring, pointless stuff that we did. Okay. Obviously, John picked up on the kind of throwback to the opening disclaimer that he had on some of his episodes. And all the references are in there. We had the original logo that he had from Digital Fear days. We had to put the Machinima logo in there. There was no two ways about it. And this opening scene is kind of reminiscent of the typical guy and girl characters he'd have. Like, he would do voice changers on girls to make them higher, guys to make them lower.
Oh my god, I love you like so much.
I guess it's kind of like RB and Claire on the beach in Endgame.
Love you too.
It's so childish at points. Also, it's worth noting that a lot of Abnormality 3 was supposed to be filmed badly, because I think it was in the RB Chief movie there was this joke in two parts where he was making fun of the Machinima community, and a lot of that was in, I think that was in the episode Company as well in RB, as well as there was another bad Machinima joke that he had made, but he was poking, it was in the Digital Fear's Guide to making Halo 3 Machinima, that he was poking fun at the Machinima community, and there was kind of a lot of that in Abnormality 3, but as time went by, when I was making it, I realised that it wouldn't be watchable if all the shots were badly composed. So at points like this, where it has establishing shots, it's kind of, that's much more watchable cinematography, because John does like long establishing shots, and I wanted to reflect that as well. But then I also wanted to put these ridiculous characters like Captain Davidson and Stacy in there. No one noticed that framed photo of Adrian I had in the corner as well. Kind of annoying.
Region City.
But how did you know, sir?
Just a feeling.
So in the movie, the title sequence here, done by I think it was Beaminator from Immortal Dream Entertainment. It was originally called I think it was Cuckold Boogaloo or something, but
how can we,
I went with Taking Back New York because I believe that's what Master Chief called the script for Shawshank Redemption 2.
Give me the stats of the best people in the force.
I think it was part 2 of Company, or part 1 of Company, and R being a Chief. So obviously you have your setup for the character of Bernard Brown from the Erect division.
Thank God I lost him.
This is the kind of action or the kind of scenes you would have in a lot of his shows that weren't like RB Chief, that didn't take place on Xbox Live. They were supposed to be taking in the actual universe of the game. You'd have all these kind of slightly cringy sequences. And I think in terms of my first Machinima, this was a good choice to make, because John is 100% correct. Making a legitimate attempt with Machinima is fucking difficult to do. Also, bit of trivia. This Blue Spartan that approaches all of the recruits at the start of the film is actually my avatar from Halo 3 at the time.
Who am I? What have I become?
Obviously I played Was it John? I think it was John. I think John was the name of the character in Deus Ex Machina. Well, someone in the comments will tell me if I'm wrong anyway. I was Rusty playing, I think
Christ.
it was...
How do I change the channel on this thing?
What's the name of the character from One Life Remaining? Anthony Heitzman. I think it was Rusty playing him. He did a great job. Obviously, we had an RB and a Chief cameo in there. Gotta have that. And I was of two. I was between two choices whether or not I wanted to have them in the last scene or here as well, because I liked the idea of them coming at the end a lot more. But
what the fuck do you
I
want?
couldn't find a way to make Anthony's introduction work another way. I mean, I could have done something with his elite roommate or his stoner roommate, I suppose. This scene I feel flowed really well.
Ready for this?
Because it's
Well, they'll
that
have
kind
to
of...
be. We have no other
Obviously, you can
choice
tell
but
I
to place
filmed
our
this
faith in the ones who were put on
with,
this earth to protect us
just
at the
the
times we need them
monitor
most.
and the Spartan
Okay.
in one
How is
session in
Is the
Forge.
treatment
And
working?
then obviously I had the three Spartans in a Slayer match together.
Sir.
We'll have them work harder.
With that
we don't
kind
have
of
much
door
time,
opening
and we
that
need
kind
him.
of gives these two shots connecting tissue in a way.
Welcome to the Pillar of Autumn 3. My name is Captain
I don't know why I didn't use a
Davidson.
shot of the door
I'm the
opening with the three
commanding
of them.
captain here.
Because I could have had
I
four
hope you had a
characters
pleasant
there.
journey.
So we have our three protagonists. And I'm
I've
guessing
been on a journey
it
for
goes without
years.
saying that this is obviously a kind of
When
a
are you
reference
going to tell
to
us what's going on?
the Avengers
Follow
films.
me and I'll brief you.
This came out either just before, it was just after
At 2800
Infinity
hours
War,
of
I believe,
covenant death to
because
smash the lunar perimeter around
this
the
was
Earth's
the start of
colonies,
June, because
they
it was
never
for
stood a
John's
chance.
30th
We
birthday.
believe they're exacting
And
revenge over
I was
fight
just
that
kind of
took
still
place
riding the
50 years
hype
ago.
that I had
We
after
lost our greatest warrior then.
Infinity War.
He managed to save Regent
So I
City
wanted to make
twice
something
from
similar to that.
covenant threats, but at the cost
Another
of
thing
his
as well
own
was that
I think I heard
the
about
idea
that.
for this
That was Adrian
was
Davidson,
conceived, the
Yes.
script was written, shot and edited, I think
He was
within
my brother.
about
We
3
don't owe
weeks.
this the citizens of the earth.
And even though I
We
was
don't owe
working
it
during
to the
that time,
residents of Regent City. We
you know,
owe
it kind of came to fruition
Adrian
very
to
quickly.
finish
All
this
the
fight
voice
once
actors
and
that I
for
had
all.
came
Let's
through
do this.
really quickly,
Fuck
and
that.
I can't really give enough praise to Beta, Rusty, and Chief. Obviously, you have your kind of token establishing shots and these NPC looking characters, which you know you'd have in some of John's earlier Machinimas, not anymore. And I like the idea that there's no elite good guys, they're all just token Alan villains with their stupid jokes. Some of these shots go on for very long, and I can't really pass it off as the kind of meme of it being crappy looking Machinima. You know, there was initially a shot where the Spartans show up against 4 elites and you have a kind of a Civil War moment, like a Captain America Civil War, where they're running towards each other, and I think Anthony says they're not slowing down, and Deus Ex Machina says neither are we.
It'll be like taking
But
virginity from a pig.
it just couldn't work. I couldn't make that scene work, and
could
I
do
was
this
also missing
all
some
day.
footage. And in truth, while I don't mind going back for reshoots, doing reshoots when you have a good sorting system for your first Machinima is really frustrating, because a lot of the footage looks the same when you're just flicking through it really quickly. So I just said fuck it, and I just kind of rolled ahead with what I had. And I won't lie, in that respect it's sloppy, because in terms of continuity and stuff, a lot of the shots don't cut together. But I don't know, I still think it stands the test of time, you know. People still seem to like it
Don't worry,
to this day, you know.
I found them. Well, that was a
So you have
mistake.
some of these silly handheld looking
You
shots
had
with a
that.
wobbly
Take your
camera.
best shot.
And there was no way we were making this without doing the death gurgle for the elite. I like the shot as well, because it's supposed to be him lighting the camera on fire and walking through the flames, even though he clearly takes damage on it.
But you'll never defeat me.
Who the fuck
I think
said
this is
that?
the kind of peak moment of the Machinima where everything kind of comes together. I believe this shot was the first shot that I had in my head for the project. The idea of how simple it would be to superimpose in a chin into
taken down your
Halo
goons.
3,
You
and the
will
idea
be
of
much
all of
more
John's
attackable.
previous characters fighting it. Because even though RB the Chief aren't made part of the story, you do have an RB the Chief character in front of them who could hypothetically exist in
Tell
the same
us.
universe as them, you know? Because Xanthar was really properly part of the 2001 arc of Arby. And of course you have your twist in there
No.
of Stacy being
How
the
could
bad
you?
guy.
I gave Xanthar
Which was
all
kind
the
of like
coordinates and
a
passwords
Stacy, you know,
to
like a
lunar
Chad
perimeter so they could
Stacy
destroy
joke,
the
but also
defenses.
Wall-E.
You will
Because
pay
of the
for
Stace
that.
E.
You're surrounded by billions of troops.
And then you have the
This
time
is
code as well.
exactly what we
That was a
wanted.
really, really late addition.
You
And I
monster.
think someone in the Discord mentioned
Earth's
the time
mightiest
code,
heroes
and to
in
put
one
that in,
place.
I'd have to go back and check, but that was a
This is
really,
the
really late
truth.
addition. And I'm
This
glad I
was
put it in,
always-
because the reaction was fantastic.
I like truth, but I'm also a fan of hard justice.
And then obviously you have Adrian coming in. Looking back on it, a lot of his audio, like the audio was deliberately supposed to be shitty. Like I asked him to, you know, not use a good mic. I asked him to bring down the sampling on the mic. And even at that, I was prepared to throw some,
But
you know, some cheap effects
how?
I
on the
was
voice to
revived
make it
from
sound
the
even
resurrection
worse.
formula you
But in
devised.
fairness to Beta, he
You
did a
tried pulling
great
the
job.
plug on me,
What
but
he was,
didn't
I think
know
I might have
my
already
twin
put some
brother
effects on it
just
as well.
sacrificed himself
But I was also
in
thinking
order for
about
me to come
every time
back.
he was on
Now
camera,
I can
just
finish
kind of
what you started
pixelating
all
the image a
those
little
years
bit to
ago.
make it look deliberately crap. Like whenever he was around, camera quality went down to like
Stacy, it is
144p,
B.
like some pixelated effect and some Gaussian blur. But I decided to go against it. So he killed Stacy, or did he? Also, you have the Dark Knight music or Batman Begins music, because that was actually from the original Abnormality, and it was used really well actually. As cringy as that Machinima is to watch now, it does cut together, you know. There is a very clear story going through it. Cheap explosion, fantastic.
You fucked your last ass, Xanthar.
This dialogue is really sharp, man. I don't know. It's Kino, should be studied in film class, or at least Machinima
was
class if
incredible.
we ever get
Where
that
did you learn
stage.
to do that?
The wiki.
I didn't think you'd ever come back.
I don't know if people got this joke. John likes to do these long drawn out shots where a character looks around and it's usually tight shots. So I
What
wanted
do
to
we
do the
do
same
now?
thing from a wide angle
There's
to
still
show
more
how
Covenant
goofy
out
it
there,
really is.
and we need to take him out.
And the head
Say we
movements
form
just
a
about
team.
I agree.
match the kind of
What will we call
speech
ourselves?
inflections.
We need something.
No one
that
picked up
strikes
that
fear
shot of
into
the
hearts
pink,
our
pink
enemies,
Spartan as well, because
but
John
also
has so many
tells them
continuity
their digital
errors with
capabilities.
armor perms.
Hey, I
I
got
had to
it.
point it out there.
The digital queers.
Awesome. Hey,
Digital queers.
let's all go suck each other off, huh?
I think the continuity was pretty sharp. I don't think I messed up anything too much. And then you have your token Breaking Bad, or Breaking Benjamin scene at the end. Because I mean, back in the day, you didn't even need to have an Elgato or a capture card. If you just had a camcorder, your Machinima always had Breaking Benjamin in it. Shaky camera angles and whatever. And one thing I'm noticing is that the kind of bad shots blend into the good shots, so it's not that intrusive. Then that's Abnormality 3. I definitely didn't talk enough about some of the scenes, but I don't know, hopefully you got something out of it anyway. So there's all the credits anyway. We had to put Asa Akira for the credit of Stacy because, you know, there's a bit of a meme around it with John. I thought it was funny. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Have another commentary out soon for Civil Discord Part 1, and look forward to Part 2.